Hello, everyone. I'm Laura Barat from laurabaratastrologer.com. And today I am discussing the coming Uranus-Rahu conjunction in the sign of Taurus, which happens, it's exact on August 1st. And that conjunction includes Mars, okay? This is a really big deal because this conjunction of Uranus and Rahu, it takes place every 15 to 16 years or so. And these two planets are very similar in how they operate as far as the creative force within us and also brand new things coming into our life. Rahu is different in that it brings new things into our life that we have no idea how to handle. Okay, that's what Rahu is known for, or the north node of the moon, however you describe Rahu. Okay, since I'm a tropical Vedic astrologer, I use Rahu. And but I don't like to distinguish between Western astrology and Vedic astrology. In a lot of things, I think that they can benefit from each other in a lot of ways. So I'm just going to call, from now on, use Rahu to describe the north node of the moon. And but Rahu does bring into our lives a lot of things that we are unfamiliar with, and that there's a certain amount of fear around those things because we're unfamiliar with them. It's unknown territory. Okay. And the Uranus is similar in that, but Uranus actually has a more beneficial connotation and is more helpful, if you will. It's more exciting because your Uranus has a lot to do with individuality, and individuality that is constantly flowing through us. An abstract curiosity, like a child. A child wants to try everything new and nothing gets old, and certain things are flowing through us. When we're very young children, we're always excited about things. We're always getting into something new, sometimes getting into trouble for it. So Uranus has that childlike quality about it because it's brand new, it's fresh, you're all excited. You have certain ideas that are kind of coming from your higher self or coming from the ether, if you will. And you get, it's a lot of inspiration. You have a lot of breakthroughs, like creative breakthroughs or even spiritual breakthroughs. And you're able to see things in a completely different way. And get an unlimited perspective about something. Now with Rahu, that there is an element of that, but it's a little more fearful because Rahu presents situations in the phenomenal world that we need to deal with and that might not be very comfortable for us. Uranus is basically tuning in to unlimited ideas, okay? Tuning into our higher self or the more intellectual, rapidly thinking part of ourselves that we can expand our horizons with. It doesn't really present a lot of situations that we are not familiar with, okay? Which is what Rahu does. So they are very similar in that we are experiencing a lot of new things come into our life. That is a given. That is definitely something that we will, that's a theme of this conjunction, okay? And Rahu actually rules technology. Okay, technology is something that is developed. It's something new. It's something that goes beyond the limitations of the world. So Rahu is the 8th planet in the scheme, in the Vedic scheme, okay? And the 8th is after number 7, which is Saturn, and Saturn provides limitations. You know, Saturn is the natural world in that it's limited. You know, there's a certain amount of time that we are allotted, and that's how it is with everything in the world, there's only a certain amount of time that it's going to live, and that's Saturn. And Saturn is sickness, okay? And so when we develop technology, we can go beyond those limitations. We can go beyond the laws of physics, okay? So that's basically what Saturn is. And then when you go to Rahu, you want to reach out and strive for something better. And you have to develop those things. So that's why Rahu rules technology. Now, in Western astrology, it's the sign of Aquarius and Uranus that rules technology. And that's actually true, because you have a lot of new insights and a lot of theoretical scientific theories that come out, and new technology that is tested during these conjunctions. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit in some of the new discoveries. The entire time that these two planets are in the same sign, that is considered to be conjunct. Okay, they're influencing each other that entire time. And but when they are exactly conjunct, and about a month or two before that exact conjunction and a month or two after, is kind of like the summit of this conjunction, the epitome of it. And and just to give an example, I don't know if you're familiar with CERN, which is in Switzerland. It's underground in the mountains in Switzerland. They just fired it back up again. And basically it's using millions of tiny magnets that direct these beams to collide with each other. And it's hadrons, which is basically protons and neutrons colliding with each other. And apparently this is done because it tells them more about the dark matter of the universe, okay, which we don't know. Basically, we don't know very much about, and it's a huge component of the universe. So that is one instance of this conjunction, okay, this very strong technology bent, and technology that allows us to learn more about our world and overcome some of the limitations, okay? And it's with Mars. And this is going to play into it quite a bit. Mars rules electricity. Mars rules fire. It's the fire element. Mars rules land, okay? Mars rules war, and technology used for war, and fighting, exercise. It also rules things that come from the earth. So this conjunction, just on a worldly level, not on an individual level, which is also important, and I'm going to get to later, okay? But on a worldly level, this conjunction is developing. There will be an increase in or new discoveries around warfare, okay, and weapons used for warfare. There will also be new discoveries around land management, fixing things wrong with the land and with the earth. Mars rules things that comes from the earth, new ways of mining, okay? There's going to be new ways of acquiring real estate changing hands, because this conjunction takes place in the sign of Taurus, and Taurus is the sign of wealth, okay? And of course, Mars rules land and real estate. That's why there's all of these wacky fluctuations happening right now in the real estate market. Then you have, what was I going to say? Lost my train of thought there. Oh, I remember what it was. Okay. A Mars-Rahu conjunction can give explosions. Okay, Rahu rules explosions. and like nuclear explosions, things like that. I'm not saying there is going to be a nuclear explosion. That's not what I'm saying. Okay, but I just want to make that clear. But that's what it rules. And explosive violence, when you get Mars and Rahu together. Rahu externalizes energy of something. It always externalizes the energy of a planet that it's with, even in our individual horoscopes, so that it brings in the experiences it needs to learn. Okay. So, and this is happening in a earth sign. So right now that you have a couple of volcanoes happening or going off, which is fire and earth, right? I know one big one is in Japan right now. So, and there were a few just very recently happening. So that is an indication of this powerful conjunction as well. Okay. But also a lot of advancements in technology, generally speaking. Now, I'll give you a couple of examples. Like the last time that was in 2007. Okay. You had Rahu and Uranus conjoined, and this was with Mercury. All right. So interestingly enough, during this time, you had the announcement, or during this time, they were in the same sign. This isn't their exact conjunction, but it was around that time. Okay. They were in the same sign. And you had it was in Pisces, if you're curious. So you had the first ever Earth hour. That was the day of the exact conjunction in 2007. And that was, I had the date, I think it was September 8th, 2007. Okay. I could be wrong on that, but it was sometime in September. But on that exact conjunction, you had the first ever Earth hour, and it was in Australia, and everyone turned off their electricity or their lights for an hour. All right. This is a conjunction of firsts. It's the first time something's ever been done. That's another indication of this conjunction. So that happened in Australia, and Earth, the Earth element is ruled by Mercury. All right. In the manifesting cycle, in the maintaining cycle or sustaining cycle, Mercury rules the Earth element. Okay. Then also what happened is during this time, you had Steve Jobs announced the first iPhone smartphone. Okay. That was on January 9th of 2008. So that was a few months after, but they were still conjoined in the same sign. And you had to stimulate half a virtual mouse brain on a supercomputer. All right. So the communications, the maps, the Mercury is very much a planet of organization and compartmentalization of discrimination. Mercury actually rules coverings. Okay. Mercury rules forms, things being covered and being separated from other things. Okay. So it rules the walls of your house. It rules the cell membranes. It rules the skin. So Mercury actually is very much a planet of putting things into categories and organizing things. Another thing that Mercury does when it is combined with the moon is the moon-Mercury conjunction, or moon-Mercury influencing each other, is a healing combination. So, and Mercury has to do with, it is part of being a healing planet. And Venus is also the healer. Okay. So you had some pretty interesting breakthroughs with, what was it? Stem cell transplants from donors, which cures HIV/AIDS. That was the first time that was done. The second Berlin patient, he was given a stem cell transplant from a donor. carrying the CCR5LL, which cured HIV/AIDS. Then you had scientists at the Roslin Institute genetically engineered chickens to lay eggs containing cancer-fighting proteins. That was a first. And then they mapped the mouse brain on the supercomputer. And then the iPhone, the first ever Earth Hour. Then another first about this that I thought was interesting is, so Mercury rules travel, and it was the first time that a French TGV train broke the world record. So another first. Michael Phelps set a world record, and that was like two days before the exact conjunction of Uranus and Rahu, and Mercury was there. Mercury rules games, okay? And Mercury rules travel. So you had Michael Phelps competing in a game against somebody else, and the travel. And of course, Pisces is water. So I just thought that was really cool. So then in 1991, which was before that, the Rahu Uranus conjunction before about 16 years before, okay, in 1991. This was interesting. They found the God particle, the first ultra high energy cosmic ray, and they discovered that. That was October 15th. Apple released the PowerBook laptop computer. Another asteroid was discovered. And they actually discovered a new animal that they never had before. This was like what they called the Asian unicorn. It's called a Saola. And it was first identified in a rainforest reserve of northern Vietnam. So a lot of firsts. These are just a few examples. There was just lists and lists of these things, but a lot of firsts, a lot of new discoveries, science and technology. Okay, you get the idea, right? Breaking records. Now, okay, so individually, in the chart, I'm going to go through all the signs. If you have your sun, moon, or ascendant, the ascendant is the big one, okay? But it can be, you can read this also from the sun or the moon as well, all right? Because those are both identity factor planets. And so Aries, all right? Now, in Aries, you're going to have some pretty innovative breakthroughs in understanding how to take care of your responsibilities and how to make the most of your material resources, especially when it comes to land, okay, land and real estate. It can also have to do with any gem collection you have, because of course Mars rules precious gems. But that's what Aries, if you have those identity factors in Aries, this conjunction will allow that to happen or make that happen in your life, being in the second house from there, okay? In Taurus, you'll have a lot of interesting new ideas about your appearance, taking care of your appearance, getting into shape, a new physical regimen, because Mars, of course, has to do with martial things like exercise, martial arts, exerting energy. All right. It can also, you can have a new understanding of your path in life, because the first house, the first and the seventh house is our path in life, the path our physical body walks. And the first house very much has to do with our physical body. So you can change something about your appearance or repair, resolve some health issue you may have been experiencing that actually shows on the outside of your body. All right. Mars is the repairman. He fixes things. That's what he does. He's a problem solver. He's a strategist. Okay. He develops a strategy. So that can also be very prevalent, especially with your appearance and the path you're on in your life. All right, what's giving you limits? Because a path is limits. You don't deviate off the path, you walk your path. So there could be a change in that path due to something martial or due to a problem that needs to be fixed regarding your body and health. Okay. Then Gemini. All right. So this conjunction would take place in the 12th house, and the 12th from the natural 12th house, or the 12th from the moon or sun. Okay. And so this means kind of pioneering progress of taking care of your expenses. The 12th house is expense. And that, again, that can have something to do with your home. All right. You can have expenses due to your home, but you find a new way of resolving that problem. Okay. And something completely new, brand new, out of the ordinary that you've never heard before. Then the 12th house has to do with vacations and getting away from worldly concerns, taking yourself out of society, not worrying about work, relaxing on a beach, meditating in the Himalayas, whatever it is. The 12th house is taking you out. Okay. And so you can have a brand new idea around those types of issues. The 12th house is charity. You can also have some expenses around, excuse me. Sorry, I just had a little coughing fit there. I had to stop it. So I've got to remember to keep drinking tea or water. So, okay. So you can have expenses around your siblings or, martial type of issues. Mars rules siblings. Mars also has a connotation of the mother, according to Gemini. So there can be expenses around that. The siblings get taken out of, or get taken out of their worldly concerns because of some brand new reason, something out of the blue. All right. So that's what would happen if you have significant identity factors in the sign of Gemini. Okay. Then Cancer. Okay. So it's in the 11th house, and that'll be, really ingenious insights applicable to your social network. All right. And solving long-term goals or reaching long-term goals. You'll have a completely new way of doing that. And you'll put a lot of energy and enthusiasm in reaching those long-term goals or satisfying those long-term desires, which is the 11th house, usually through some new connection through your social network, because the 11th house is your social network and your peers and colleagues. When you need something, you put it out there. A friend tells a friend, tells a friend, tells a friend, and you get what you need. That's what the 11th house is. Okay. It's also winning awards. You can win an award or be recognized in a new way for something martial, like, winning a competition, or, where your athleticism is needed, or, something you own, some piece of land can be recognized in some way that you weren't expecting. Okay. Leo. All right. So you're going to have a lot of kind of epiphanies around increasing your power and influence and how you can adjust your career into something that is exciting, brand new. It will be a little stressful because of Rahu, and it's explosive. It really is a flash of insight, and you'll end up fighting for it because it's Mars. All right. So that's really nice for the Leo. Anybody who has, the fixed signs, who has significant placement in fixed signs, this conjunction is taking place in an angle. So that'll be a little more powerful. Okay. Then Virgo, cutting edge realizations around your inspiration and how to implement your inspirations more in your life. If you're a spiritual aspirant or somebody who is heavily into spirituality or has a very strong philosophical bent, this will, these realizations can take place through a problem, okay, through a problem that needs to be resolved with your teacher or your spiritual mentor. Or you have some problems with the chosen or the ideals of your chosen philosophy. Okay. And also this can cause you can have some new insights about your relationship with your parents. The ninth house is your parents as a couple together. Their influence on you, them instilling their values in you, their vision of life. In the old days, it used to be just the father, okay? And that's why the ninth house they said that is the father, but it actually means the parents together, especially now more in the modern times. The 10th house is the body of the father as a physical person, okay? It's the 7th from the 4th, which is the mother, the body of the mother. But the ninth house rules our path but our chosen community we want to belong to, kind of giving the chosen purpose we want. And a lot of that, and it has to do with culture, philosophy, and religion. So usually the parents instill that in the child, bringing them up in the first few years of life. Okay. And then we move on into our own, but that's why the ninth house is the parents. Okay. And it also can give a lot of new insights into cultural issues and how you can see your culture in a completely different light. Okay. Then we have Libra. Okay, so from Libra, this happens in the 8th house. And so that'll be authentic discoveries relevant to trusting and bonding issues. The 8th house is trusting. The 8th house is bonding with other people. We can't bond with other people if we don't trust them. And it's also about how you process your neurotic tendencies, your bad habits, your past traumas that create those bad habits, those wounds, those hurtful things you do to yourself. That's all very 8th house, very deep house. So you're going to have a lot of illumination into how you can heal yourself, because you can see your psychological problems a lot more clearly, and then have a lot more strength and passion and enthusiasm, Mars, to deal with them. Okay. You can have a lot of more insights into your own chart, your astrological chart, if you're a Libra. Okay. And so then Scorpio. So insights into improving your relationship with your significant other. If it's in Scorpio, this conjunction will take place in the 7th house. This is a big deal because the 7th is an angle. So this could have an argument with a partner, can make you have a realization very quickly, because Mars, of course, is conflict. Okay. Or the partner may hurt themselves. It could be anything from stubbing their toe to accidentally cutting themselves, stepping on a pine cone with their bare foot, whatever. So that's how, Mars can cause some of that. Even Mars is surgery. The partner can have surgery, and you have a lot of interesting brand new realizations that expands your perspective about your relationship if you're a Scorpio, okay? Sagittarius is a lot of new pioneering ideas into your health. So the sixth house is health. The first house is health too, but it's more health in the robust vitality of our body, and how people seeing our body. It's usually the health that shows up on the outside in our appearance. Now, the sixth house is all types of health issues inside, in our organs, in our blood, things that people can't see immediately, but that we have problems with, So this can give a lot of extraordinary willpower to fix and repair your health. And you can have brand new ideas about how to do that. Something completely out there that you've never experienced before. So for a Sagittarius, you'll have a lot of new insights about how to fight the battle of life, the sixth house, okay? Excuse me. Overcoming enemies and competitors. And this can be facilitated through some problem in your health or some problem with your associates or a jealous person, an enemy trying to make your life hell, okay? Because Mars and the sixth house have a very similar connotation. And when Mars goes through the sixth, it's usually a good thing. We have the power to overcome our enemies. We have the power to destroy those. And when I say destroy, I mean metaphorically, I don't mean literally, but we have the power to resolve the issue with whoever is causing us problems, okay? Capricorn, if you have identity factors in Capricorn, you'll have a lot of ingenious realizations around self-expression, around creativity, around the relationship with your children, if you have them, or and spiritual practices, all fifth house types of things. And you will have, you will have just a lot of power behind it, okay? It's a very powerful conjunction. Now, Aquarius. Okay, so for Aquarius, this happens in the fourth house and an angle. So you're going to have a lot of cutting edge ideas around your home and real estate, how you want to make your environment, your home environment especially. Also about what it is that will make you happy, will make you a more contented person, someone who has a very strong emotional foundation, and you'll have a lot of insights into how to make a stronger emotional foundation and just be more content and at peace, okay? All fourth house types of things. Usually the Mars transit through the fourth house is a little unsettling, okay? But this, with Uranus there, that gives a lot more insight and higher understanding of how to be a happier person, a more contented person. The fourth house is the first step on the way to moksha. It's the first moksha house or liberation house. You got 4, 8th, and 12th, okay? And the beginning of the spiritual journey is we have to be happy, or at least we have to be content. We have to be emotionally stable. And we want to reach that level of emotional stability so we can move on into the 8th house and then the 12th house, and then we start the cycle all over again. Okay, so this is a really important transit for understanding some of the psychological motivations and learning how to overcome depression and sadness and melancholia. So Pisces, this will be in the third house. And this will have, if you have brothers and sisters, they'll probably come into play quite a bit here. Some new event happening with your siblings, some new realization about your relationship with your siblings. If it's not that, it'll have to do with strategizing how you want to self-promote. Okay. And how you want to present yourself to the world, how you want to use your willpower. This is a really powerful transit for a Pisces because Mars does really well in Pisces. Malefics in general do well in the third house. I'm sorry, not Mars and Pisces, Mars in the third house. Okay. Malefics do good in the third house. And because it's a growing house, it gets better and better. And in transit, usually during the time of that transit, the third house will grow the malefic energy and will use the malefic energy in a way that's beneficial to the person. Okay. It can have to do with writing and publishing. If you are a writer, athleticism, if you want to get in shape, that's a third house connotation. And visual and performing art. Okay. Self-expression through visual and performing art. So, you'll have, brand new ideas about those things. So that is all the signs and everything I wanted to discuss in a worldly sense as well for this very important conjunction of Rahu, Uranus, and Mars. Thank you for watching. Bye.